Good morning. It's really smoky out in the valley again this morning. It's like 3 or 4 days now. There's a big fire burning up in the Lake Elsinore, Susanville area, and anytime there's a big fire burning in Northern California, then we get smoke. So I thought I'd join you this morning from the backyard again and talk a little bit about smoke and how it interferes with the way we see things clearly. The beauty of what we have here in northern Nevada is completely shrouded when we're experiencing the carryover of smoke from fires in Northern California. You can't see the hills, you can't see the meadows, you can't see the river. Everything is shrouded in smoke. And I think sometimes that's a really good way for us to pay attention to the way we feel our relationship with God is going. Many times you may feel like your relationship with God is shrouded in smoke, that you can't see clearly, that the authenticity and the intimacy that you desire and long for, that there is a veil there that obstructs that heart-to-heart communication. And many wise people have written about that veil that separates us while we are here on this side of eternity. And I think sometimes that really makes us feel insecure in front of God, because we can't see God's eyes. We can't sense God's body language. We can't connect with God through any of our senses. We know God is spirit, but we also know that that spirit, that eternal spirit, that's not confined to a shape or a body or a form, loves you intensely. The day before my grandmother died, I've talked to you about her before. My birthday was the day after, and she lived with my uncle, and after the funeral my uncle gave me a card, an envelope that she had addressed and was sitting on her desk. The letter was addressed to me. There was a stamp on the envelope, and all that was waiting before she sent it was the message inside. And she hadn't had a chance to write the message inside yet, but everything else was there. That is such a treasure to me. I still have it. I have it in my Bible. That's one of my most precious letters from her, because of all that she did not put down in the card, but that was indicated by the fact that the card was laying there ready to go on her desk. I think sometimes this sense of shroudedness and distance that we feel with God can be illustrated well through this idea of this letter that my grandmother had addressed to me. I was on her mind. She was thinking of me the day before she died. I love that. I love the idea that someone was thinking of me so much that they'd prepared the message, that even though it wasn't sent yet. God, too, thinks of us all the time. You are always on the mind of the divine. We know that through every aspect of our lives. Wise people have said that God even gives us every beat of our heart. Every beat of our heart, God gives us. Every breath that fills our lungs, God gives us. God is that aware of you, that present to you, sustaining you moment by moment by moment. We have no reason to worry that we are not enough for God. When we sit before God in prayer, or when we think about God during the day, or when we wonder about what it would be to be united to the divine, we don't have to be afraid that we are not enough. So we gather our favorite books, and we bring our journal, and we have our rosary beads if that's our prayer form. But we don't need those things. Those things are really for us. God, the divine, just wants our hearts. Just really wants our attention. Don't be afraid that without all those props, your time with the Lord, with the divine, won't be enough. All God wants is your company. And then the rest is up to God, right? You just put yourself in God's presence, and the divine will take it from there. You are enough. You are always on the divine's mind, always in the heart, in the very center of the heart of God.